Welcome back to You+You podcast. I am your host, Markia. Today's episode, we're going to dive into the benefits of reparenting yourself. So, if you can recall, last week I discussed understanding reparenting yourself and the importance of it. Today's topic, we're going to explore the benefits that reparenting yourself can bring to your life, from emotional healing to personal growth and your overall well-being. I'm actually here to guide you on this path and this very important journey with love and compassion. And so I want you to grab your notebook, your journal, your tablet, whatever you want to take notes. And I want you to get comfortable, and I want you to open up yourself so that we can dive in deep into the benefits of reparenting yourself. So we're going to start with the emotional healing. Reparenting yourself can lead to profound emotional healing by addressing unresolved childhood wounds and traumas. Now listen, many of us have gone through some type of traumatic experience in our childhood. I can totally relate to it. It's about understanding where you are now and then being able to heal through those emotional traumatic experiences. And we're going to do this by breaking the cycle of neglect. Breaking the cycle of neglect. So I'm going to give you an example. So if you've experienced any type of emotional neglect as a child, any type of unmet emotional needs, reparenting allows you to acknowledge that neglect and then actively give yourself the care, love, and attention, as well as the nurturing that you were deprived of, right? So healing comes from recognizing your worth. What was that unmet need? How were you neglected as a child? Reflect on that. Now, on last week's episode, I asked a lot of questions. Why? Because questions will open you up to being able to pull out those answers and then to reflect on those answers. It's about digging deep and unveiling and revealing so that you can clearly see, right? Because what you want to do is you want to constantly show up for yourself through supportive habits. Those supportive habits would be what? Whatever makes sense for you. Each individual is different. Our needs are all different. And then the way that we would show up for ourselves would be a bit different, right? So I want you to think about, how will you show up for yourself? How would you have wanted your parents to show up for you when you were a child? Now listen, healing from criticism. If you grew up in an environment with excessive criticism, where you might carry some type of self-doubt or even feelings of inadequacy, maybe you didn't feel like you were enough, or what you did was enough or was right when you were a child. Reparenting helps reframe this particular narrative by offering self-validation and encouragement. That starts now, right? So last week I talked about reflecting on your accomplishments, regardless of how large or small. It's about acknowledging what you have done that you're proud of, even if it's the smallest thing. The fact that you're listening to this podcast and this particular episode, it's showing that you're showing up for yourself. So that's to be celebrated. That's to be acknowledged. The fact that you're interested in reparenting yourself and healing that part of you, that is an accomplishment. So I want you to pause and thank yourself for showing up for yourself. Now listen, through kind, affirming internal dialogue, because listen, the internal conversation that we have with ourselves says a lot. What are you saying to yourself? So that's another question I want you to write down. What am I saying to myself? What does that inner dialogue sound like? Am I encouraging? Am I loving? Am I nurturing? Or am I the opposite of that? Because what you want to do is you want to create a supportive voice to replace the critical one that you internalized. Do you hear your parents in your ear? Maybe your coach in your ear, a teacher in your ear, whoever it was that criticized you so much that it has affected you, your self-esteem, your confidence in yourself. Whoever that voice was, that criticizing voice, it could even be your own voice. Ask yourself that question. Whose voice do I constantly hear when I make a mistake? When I'm displeased with myself? When I'm not doing something right? What voice do I hear? And once you get that voice, the name to the voice, then it's your responsibility then to override that voice by affirming who you are, being kind to yourself. Remember, it's about you reparenting yourself. So you're going to replace that voice with a voice that you would have wanted to hear. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm so excited for you. I'm here for you. I'm listening. Right? That voice, that nurturing and kind, supporting and loving voice. Next, you're going to address any emotional suppression. So children often suppress emotions in environments where they feel unsafe to express themselves. Reparenting provides a safe space to revisit and process those emotions without judgment. So I'm going to ask you this question, and this is a question that you're going to ask yourself. When did I begin to suppress my emotions? What environment caused for me to suppress my emotions? Where did I not feel safe to express myself? And then from there, you're going to then provide a safe space to revisit and process those emotions without judgment. You're going to do everything with grace and love. Now, as you give yourself permission to feel, the emotional energy that was suppressed can be released. And this will then allow healing. You want to develop self-compassion through reparenting yourself, because this is, listen, a beautiful act of self-love. So by nurturing and validating your inner child, we talked about that inner child in episode 1. You're going to cultivate a deep sense of self-acceptance and empowerment. Self-compassion is vital. Now, the benefits of reparenting yourself is that you improve your relationships. Improving your relationships starts with healing your inner child, because now you are building this beautiful relationship with yourself. And you're doing this by becoming more attuned to your own needs and then your boundaries, because you then create a foundation for a healthier and more fulfilling connection with yourself and then with others. embracing this journey with an open heart and a willingness to grow is also important. It provides you with personal growth. Reparenting fosters personal growth by encouraging self-awareness, resilience, and emotional intelligence. So as you continue on this path, know that every step you take is a step towards becoming the best and highest and loving version of yourself. You celebrate your progress and honor yourself and your journey. Listen, because you are showing up for yourself, this takes incredible courage and strength, because you are choosing to care for your inner child. Be gentle with yourself as you practice these new habits. And know that the progress, no matter how slow, how big, how large, how small, is still progress. You are worth all of the love and care and healing that you desire. And you are deserving of it. So listen, I hope that you're feeling inspired by the benefits of reparenting yourself that I went through in today's episode. And as we continue this journey, it's time to move from the benefits or understanding the benefits of reparenting yourself to exploring the how. Because understanding the how is just as important as understanding the benefits and then understanding the overall journey of reparenting yourself. So I want you to join me next Thursday, where I go into helping you to understand how to reparent yourself. And I'll share with you steps to help you start this journey and process. And I'm hoping, honestly, that you've already begun because of the questions that you're asking yourself and that you're giving yourself time to answer. Because I want you to remember always that it is you plus you. It will always equal you. You will always be the common denominator in your life. So until next week, I am your host, Markia, and this is You+You podcast. I'll leave you with this. Extend yourself grace. Be nurturing and loving to yourself, because remember, it is about you reparenting you. Until next week, be blessed.